Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the week of March 27th. We're just going to jump right in here, Capricorn. In your first row, you have this card that says, don't let people suck the air out of your spirit. You also have this retail card. It says, start a retail business selling products or services. Sales associate, cashier, store manager, owning a business. If you have an idea in mind, you have the green light to go for it, Capricorn. I feel like every single reading that I've done for you recently has been about doing something here that could be very financially successful for you. You know, what's interesting is with that card that says don't allow people to suck the, spirit out, the air out of your spirit. It's like, I feel like there could be a lot of things that you are seeing that are kind of like maybe hating on your idea, and I don't really have a good example other than, look at this, you have this sudden wealth card. It's like a jackpot there, Capricorn. But I feel like there could be like people who maybe it's kind of like weird because I feel like you're almost getting it. Maybe you feel like you're getting conflicting messages from spirit is like what I'm getting here. Like maybe you're thinking of an idea. Maybe you don't even tell a person about your idea, right? But maybe they start hating on something similar. It's like maybe you want to start a YouTube channel and maybe like one of your best friends is like, oh, YouTube sucks and all this other stuff. So I feel like you really need to like protect your brain, protect your ideas and be careful who you tell what to. But also, if you have like a person who is negative in your life or something who always says everything sucks, I would just put things into perspective. Again, sometimes I think we take things on from other people and we don't realize that they're just like a miserable person all the time and they think everything sucks. So I think that if you have those moments where you're like, oh, it is a stupid idea, I feel like you need to say, no, this person's stupid, I'm not stupid, right? So I feel like you need to get to work. You show up here in a very strong position, Capricorn. So you're showing up as yourself, Queen of Pentacles, putting you in a position of power and strength. You can see here that she's focused on the Pentacle. She's not focused on the Rabbit right here. The Rabbit on the Queen of Pentacles can represent fertility and abundance, of course, but it also represents fears and anxiety. And she's focusing on the Pentacle. She's not focusing on the fears. She's not focusing on the anxiety. So your focus is going to be very important for you here. You have the Death card. So there's like some sort of change coming in. It's been a major change week for all Earth signs. So, it just could be a kind of like a collective Earth energy. But I also feel like this card is saying like, it's almost like as if the environment is right or the timing is right. You see the sun coming up here. And what's popping into my head is like, I'm not suggesting that you're getting a boost or anything like that, but it's almost like the medium, the situation that you're entering into is just much more conducive for success in whatever it is that you're doing. I don't really have any good examples here. It's like, but obviously, if you're like trying to do something, like it's much easier to bake a cake in an oven than it is to bake a cake in an oven over a fire outside, right? It's like, I don't know why that's, again, I said to Virgo that there's going to be a lot of cake analogies today, and it's definitely been true, but it's like, it's like the perfect, but it's like you almost are baking a cake in the perfect oven, like the best oven that's accurate within, 0.0001 degrees. It's like a perfect, perfect environment. So it's not like you're getting a boost. I hope this is making sense. Probably not, because as I say it just sounds stupid. But what I would say here is that like what you're working on, I feel like the tools at your disposal, all the things that are going on around you, it's like the perfect environment. You have the Knight of Wands. I would definitely encourage experimentation at this time. Knight of Wands is like a card of being open to discovery. He really follows his enthusiasm and he feels like he wants to do something and that's all he needs. He doesn't care about anything else. It's like most people, they feel like they want to do something like start a business or get into a new relationship or whatever it is for you. And then they start thinking of all the reasons they don't want to do it. He just thinks of all the reasons he wants to do it and he does it. And, I feel if you can embrace that energy at this time, that you will be very successful, obviously, Capricorn. Let's see. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Strength card. Yeah, you've been waiting. It's like you've been waiting for this moment, is what I feel like saying. You've been waiting for the, for everything, for like the stars to align. Maybe that's a better, that would be a way easier analogy than what I used earlier. With the Death card, you have the Justice card. Justice is cause and effect. It says when you put energy into something, what do you get back? So it can represent perfectly balanced energy and kind of like getting in what you put, what you put into, or getting out what you put into a situation. So I definitely feel that here. It's like things are more balanced for you at this time. Again, if you are creating like if you're creating any products, or like as that card says, if you're selling a product or a service, I think now is the time. With the Knight of Wands, you have the High Priestess and the Three of Swords. Yeah, I would be careful of a past person. I've been saying this to you for like a while, Capricorn. I feel like some of you, it's like, I get a very weird feeling about a person who it's like they did the most, but they're angry at you. So I would be careful of this person. Definitely could be a Pisces for sure. And so, it's almost like you have a person in your life who is angry at you, but it's like they're the one who did the most in a situation. Like, I feel like they did everything they could to ruin it, but they're mad at you. So, I would be careful. This person just seems like a jerk, plain and simple, right? Or just a liar, cheater, stealer. Maybe it took you a long time to heal from this as well, I feel. But I feel like you're on to bigger and better things. Look, in the area of the unexpected, you have the Sand Dollar card. It says manifestation, be open to receive. The thing with manifestation is we have to be open to receiving, right? And that's kind of like what I feel is going on here with the Sand Dollar card, is I feel like you need to be open to it. I also feel like there are like little kind of like things that you could do to make yourself like feel more lucky and feel like more successful. It's like why I always encourage people to not try to win the lottery, for example. And it's like, trust me, I have nothing against winning the lottery, but what I'm saying is, if you think the only way you can be successful is to win the lottery, you're creating a money block, because what you're saying is the only way I can get lucky is if really, really big things that have a very small chance happen to me, right? So when you have the lottery mindset, for example, which it looks like there's a jackpot coming in for you, speaking of the lottery, because you have the sudden wealth card, but it's like when you have that mindset, you're saying that I have a very small chance of being lucky in life. So we need to change that mindset and just say luck is very close. It's not this far away, it's like this far away from me, right? And once we change our mindset and do that, and we believe that we're lucky, then we become more lucky. And that's what I feel like needs to happen here, right? So it's not about not winning the lottery. It's about changing the lottery mindset that I only can ever get lucky on very small chances, right? You have the Eight of Swords, the Seven of Wands, and the Chariot. The Eight of Swords is a card of self-imposed restriction. I actually don't feel good or bad about this in your reading, Capricorn. I feel that I just kind of feel like it's almost like hermit mode, It's almost like you've maybe withdrawn, especially if you have this heartbreak going on. Like I said, I don't really feel good or bad about it. I would encourage you to take some risks at this time, because we go Five of Swords to the Seven of Cups. The Five of Swords to me can be a card of winning at all cost. And again, I definitely feel you could have been dealing with a person where they just wanted to win. We kind of describe this person over here. I've been talking about them for like the past 3 weeks because they're all up in your energy, probably because they can sense that you're opening up, that you're opening to manifestation. But the Five of Swords outside of love to me represents taking a risk. And you have the Seven of Cups. It's like we can dream all day long about how something is going to turn out. And I don't want to skip too far ahead here, but I feel this is really important that we can imagine things all day long. But until we start taking the actions and start manifesting in something in reality, we have no clue what it's going to be. We have no clue what it's going to turn into. And that's the Seven of Cups. There are good things and bad things in those cups. He doesn't really know if his new project or his new relationship or his new whatever he's dreaming about, he doesn't know if it's going to be good or bad. He just knows that he has to manifest it on earth. He has to make a decision to bring it down to earth. And I feel like once you make that decision, right here, Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. It says when you know that something will be successful, it will be successful. So I feel like there is a lot of success coming in for you with the Seven of Wands, but you have to believe it. You have to bring it down to earth. And that's what I feel like is going on here with the Seven of Wands energy. You have the Chariot as well. Everybody's been getting the Chariot, which is crazy to me. It kind of reminds me of everybody getting the Tower. But you can see here that there's this city behind him. And I really feel that this is Pluto and Aquarius. I've been saying this for weeks, that Pluto and Aquarius is the collective. But I also feel like Pluto and Aquarius, like part of it is going to be how do we set ourselves apart? He's leaving the city behind him so that he can set himself apart, so that he can be unique and be different, so he can stand out among the crowd. And I feel a lot of you Capricorn people could be, working on projects, businesses, doing pretty much anything to stand out amongst the crowd. And, I would definitely encourage that at this time because, again, there's like a lot of herd mentality in the astrology. And what I would say is if we are just like 1% different than like other people or our business competition or whatever, then we're going to stand out big time. And it only needs to be 1%. It doesn't need to be like some sort of crazy percentage, right? With the Eight of Swords, you have the Eight of Pentacles. See, I feel like you're very focused on work. Remember, I was getting like more hermit energy here, not so much like Eight of Swords. And, maybe it's time for you to kind of break out of this energy, the Eight of Swords, right? But I kind of feel like you're just more blocked off to a past person is what that's saying. I don't think it's really saying that you're stuck, right? Maybe you're a little bit stuck. And again, in the future, if you want love, obviously open up, just like that sand dollar card says, be open to receiving. Maybe that's all you have to do, is kind of like open up a little bit here. But Eight of Pentacles to me is material success on the horizon. So I feel like there is money coming in for you. By the way, if you're having any crazy ideas, any new ideas for like work or business, I'm telling you right now, sudden wealth right here. So I feel like it's going to require work. It's not going to just magically happen. But I feel if you're like launching a product, starting a new business, coming up with new ideas, you're going to be very successful, Capricorn, for sure. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is a card of kind of adventure. You have two cards, Knight of Wands. You have the Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands. It's like there's something, this to me here, going Knight of Wands, Page of Wands to the Page of Swords. It's almost giving me like false start vibes here, Capricorn. It's like you think about doing something and then you keep thinking, you feel very enthusiastic about an idea and then you keep thinking about it. Same thing this way here. So I would say if you've been planning, especially in work or business, or even if you're retired, maybe you want to write a book or maybe you want to do something with your life or do whatever, who cares, right? What I would say here is that I feel like that Page of Swords, that row, that diagonal, whatever you want to call it, is basically saying you need to stop thinking about it. It's time to start working on it, because I kind of get this energy of like getting really excited and then thinking about it. And it's like saying, get excited and put it into action, right? Get moving. Yes, with the Chariot, you have this Three of Wands. It literally says, what are you waiting for? It's kind of interesting as well. I feel like some of you could be being forced to move here is the words. I don't want to scare you here, Capricorn. I don't think this is a bad thing, and I think you'll have plenty of time. But for some of you, I get like a situation where it's like maybe you're maybe your landlord decides they want to sell the place, or maybe something else happens and you have to move. But I feel like it's actually going to be like a blessing. Even when we go this way, we have the Five of Swords to the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is coming up in the area of the good stuff, and I feel like what you're moving on to is like the Eight of Pentacles. And so, you could find something that's like better but cheaper, you know what I mean? Or something along those lines. It just seems like it's actually going to be a benefit, even though it might be a minor inconvenience. And again, this is not going to be for all of you. The other thing is like you're going to have, like I wouldn't stress out about it. Just looking at this, it looks like you're going to have plenty of time to move. You're going to have plenty of time to find a new place. You're going to have plenty of time, I think you'll have plenty of time to handle the situation, but I feel like it's going to be a blessing more than it is going to be an inconvenience. Next, in the area of what you need to hear right now, you have this child and this sudden wealth card. Some of you could be having children, but I really feel this is talking about like, the birth of an idea. I always tell people that in the time that we're in right now, we really need to nurture things like their children. Normally, I always say like the King of Wands comes up a lot in readings, and he is entrepreneurial, but he treats things like they're children. Like he really, really nurtures something into existence. And it doesn't even have to be a business. Again, he could be entrepreneurial with his health. He could take a very, business-like approach to his health or to his spirituality. So it doesn't matter what you want to do in life, right? I think as long as you treat it kind of like a child, like really nurture it, take care of it, give it love and attention, all those things, that's going to increase your wealth. And it could be financially, but, wealth could be other things as well. It could bring you a wealth of attention, of friendship, of community. I'm getting everything. Total abundance. You have that sand dollar card and it just says manifestation. So I feel like this could be sudden success or abundance in whatever you want. You have the Page of Swords, the Five of Swords, and the King of Cups. Again, it's funny I was talking about the lottery mindset, because there is something here. It's like he's looking over at this stuck energy, but he knows that he has to do this. Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction, and the Five of Swords is like a separation. So for some of you, I do feel like you're kind of like, it's like you're on the last little bit of hanging on to something. this could be a relationship, and that, again, I do think things are connected in life. Like sometimes I think if we're in a negative relationship, it can ruin our finances. Sometimes if we're in a positive relationship, it can improve our finances, or it can improve our health or other things in life. And, that's what I feel here. It's like I don't think you're holding on to a person, but maybe there's still a little bit of energy here where you're still kind of like connected to the past or something. So it's definitely time to release that, I feel, if you can here, Capricorn. So that's what I would do there. You also have the King of Cups, and so I feel like your feelings are going to be very important. I feel you could be manifesting a lot through your emotions. He has very deep emotions, but he's also in control of his emotions. He's sitting in these choppy waters, which says he doesn't care what's going on around him. He is going to maintain a high emotional state no matter what. And I feel like that is critically important for the next 10 years, at least minimum, right? For the next 10 years, we're going to see crazy stuff going on in the world. Again, you ain't seen nothing yet, I promise you. I literally said, talking about all these tower moments, that, after the first bank collapse we had, I literally said there will be more, and this is nothing. And again, a couple days later, there were 2 more, 3 more, something like that, and there will be more. You ain't seen nothing yet. So again, the trick here is, I know it sounds scary, but the trick is don't panic, right? Number one, people who scream that the sky is falling are going to have a hard time. But if you pay attention, if you diversify, if you up your skills, if you learn things that could make you very valuable in life in general, you are going to have nothing to worry about. So, again, also, if you stabilize your emotions with the King of Cups, then you're just going to be very successful. Again, I like to remind people, it's like, here's the thing. Someone challenged me on this, and they said, well, all these horrible things are happening, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, but let's put it this way. This is why you want to have a high emotional state, right? Let's say everything goes to hell in a handbasket. The aliens, Mark Zuckerberg launches an EMP strike, electricity goes down. It's like, guess what? If you have your head on straight and you're not running around like a chicken with your head cut off, who do you think is valuable in that situation? The person who's screaming and yelling like, oh my God, the electricity, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Or the person who has their head on straight, who's like, I'm prepared, I can handle it. We've survived before, we were cavemen before this, and I know what to do. Who's more valuable in that situation, right? It's like, you want to be that person, because guess what? It's like, money isn't going away. Even if money goes away, even if there's a total zombie apocalypse, right? We will still probably be trading with people, the survivors, right? Obviously, the people who are screaming with their heads cut off, probably turning into the zombies in this situation, right? But for the people that have their heads on straight, probably will be some sort of money. So keeping your head on straight is what you want to do. You don't want to be just screaming, yelling, crying, all that other stuff. With the Page of Swords, you have the 2 wands. Yeah, it's time to take the lead. I feel like there's a lot of success coming in for you. I really see this as a level up too. If you're attracting a person, I really feel you could be attracting a leader. Could be a fire sign. I'm pretty sure in your last reading I said fire as well. But it doesn't even want to focus here. But I get heavy fire energy for you. I'm not sure. It might be your energy. You might just be fired up. You might just be kind of ready to be successful and putting the work in. 8 of Pentacles is a hard work card. So, it could be you, but I really feel like you could be attracting a fire sign. And here you go. With the 5 of Swords, you have the 2 of Cups, attracting your true love. Again, this past bozo that's showing up here was nothing. I feel like you're attracting someone who is going to blow this person out of the water. So I wouldn't even worry about the past here, period. And what is going on over here? But anyway, I can't fix it right now, Capricorn. But anyway, again, I feel like there's true love coming in for you. With the King of Cups, you have the 7 of Swords. Yep, definitely. This past person was a liar, cheater, stealer, for sure. Could have been a water sign. So I would be careful. Could have been a Pisces, high priestess here. And I feel like this person is exactly the same. They will never change. I feel like, speaking of mindset, I feel like they just have a mindset and they don't know how to change it, right? I do believe, there's a lot of people always say, leopard never changes its spots and all this other stuff, but I think that's true. For the most part, I think once people show us who they are, that's who they are. But I also think what's not true is that there are people who want to change. And if you find those people who actually do the work, that want to change and take control of their life, then I feel like finding a person like that is going to be a good person. But I do not think this person wants to change. I think they just want to stay the same. It's not even that. I just think they're unwilling to change. It's like you're dealing with a person who is so used to, maybe, it's kind of sad, because I'm wondering if you're dealing with a person who's so used to pain that they just stay in pain. They just don't outgrow the situation. It's time for you to move forward. Next, in your last row for the good stuff, it doesn't matter what shows up here, it's going to be good no matter what. You have this co-create card, and you have this gate, and it says opportunities and home. I feel for a lot of you, as always, Three of Cups, right? You always get the Three of Cups or Three of Pentacles. Teamwork makes the dream work. So anything you can do to work with other people, Capricorn. I know I always say it to you, but you always get it. And you literally have the co-create card here. So it's not like I'm making it up. And, I would put the work in to work with other people. It's like, I know, trust me, so many people leave me comments about how stunning and brave they are, that they can do everything on their own, yet their life has been the same for 20 years. I'm like, okay, great. Like, do things on your own, see how that goes for you. I don't really care. But if you're smart, and as I always say, and, someone said, are you calling us stupid? I'm like, well, I didn't. I mean, you did. You called yourself stupid by, kind of assuming things. But, I don't know. If you're smart and you work together with other people, then you're going to be very successful. For everyone else, I'm not saying you're stupid, but, it is what it is. So, again, like I said, I would come up with some way to work with other people. As I always say as well, Pluto and Aquarius, if we're creating something, like if you create YouTube videos, if you're sharing advice, if you're creating a piece of art, if you're writing a book, you are co-creating with other people. And that does not involve necessarily working together with other people. I still think that, again, Pluto and Capricorn, biggest lesson with Pluto and Capricorn, it's going to retrograde back into Capricorn, by the way, in just a few months, is, the biggest lesson is efficiency. It's like if you're trying to do everything, you're not being efficient. So, I feel a lot of you, it's like, sorry, didn't want to do that. A lot of you could have opportunities to work with other people. You have the Seven of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, and the Seven of Cups here. Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. I feel like you're entering into a time where you are becoming more efficient financially. This could even be like, maybe in business or work. Maybe you are working with other people, and it's allowing you to not have to do everything. It's allowing you to be able to focus on things that you're actually good at. Same thing in a relationship as well. You could be getting into a relationship where you kind of like complement each other. It's much more focused, much more, kind of successful. I also feel like you're ready for something new. Seven of Pentacles can be a change in direction. He's looking at what he has grown, and he's thinking like, do I want to keep growing this, or is there something better? I feel like some of you are growing something better in life. You have the Three of Cups, which is a celebration. So I do feel, by the way, and again, if you are looking for love, by the way, I would definitely go to any celebrations, parties, any social gatherings. Three of Cups to me is a really good card for meeting a person in your community, but it could be like your friendship group. It could be just going out in public and meeting people, stuff like that. So I feel if you're looking for a person, that could be where you meet actually a really good person. Definitely level up. And what's weird is like what's popping into my head is I think that this person has really good habits. Like, when you meet this, what's popping into my head is if you meet this person, the difference between them and the past person is, again, I think that they're the type of person who wants to change, as in they want to improve their life. They actually do things to change. Again, they don't just stay stuck in pain. They don't wait until things get so painful that they have to make it, they're forced to make a change, right? Which is like a much healthier, I just get like much healthier, much more well-balanced. Definitely could be a fire sign. Libra is also popping into my head as well. Take it how it resonates. Could be any sign. It's just a general reading. But, I feel that if this is love, it's very good. You also have the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups, I feel like you're finally taking action towards, like, something that you've been overthinking for a long time is really what I get here. Like if you've been thinking about starting a business or starting a podcast or, getting something new in your life moving forward, I feel like you're finally kind of like getting moving forward. Here's what this looks like to me. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands says, be bold, be assertive, really go for what you want. All these Wands cards, I'm telling you right now, definitely a very fiery connection if it's not a fire sign. I really think it is probably. And if it's not a fire sign, they could just have like fire Venus, fire Jupiter, something like that, or, fire rising sign, something major. But the Queen of Wands, she really goes for something. She doesn't, I think the important thing with her, on a personal level for you, is that she doesn't need confirmation. She doesn't need someone to be like, oh, okay, honey, you're going in the right direction, like patting you on the back as you work on a new project. She just learns as she goes. She just does her project, business, new relationship, and she doesn't need external circumstances or situations or influences to tell her what to do. She just does it. With the Three of Cups, you have the Hangman here. So I feel like you've been waiting for this for a long time, number one. It's like you're gaining enlightenment. Could be a Pisces. You have a lot of Pisces here as well. But I feel like for the most part, though, I feel like you're gaining on enlightenment. It's like you're learning some things here. I feel like you're becoming like a sharper weapon. Capricorn is what I feel like saying. Those are literally the words I'm getting. So, the Three of Cups could be like learning from other people, which you don't even have to do that in person. You could be watching YouTube videos, learning from people that way. It's going to lead to a lot of success. With the Seven of Cups, you have the King of Cups twice. I would be careful of a past King of Cups type person, a past water sign for sure. Definitely getting major warnings here on a past person. I would be careful of that, but if it's a new person, I think this could be very good. This could also suggest that you are picking a cup. It could also say with the Seven of Cups that you're actually saying, okay, this is what I'm going to work on in my life. And, I think that would be a very good idea here. Let's see. We're going to pull 5 main themes for you now, Capricorn. You have this rabbit, too much concern with sexual matters. I feel like this is a past person. It's like, I feel like they were just very too concerned with sexual matters. Let's put it that way. I'd also be careful of the rabbit and the Queen of Pentacles. Focus on what you have, not on what you don't have. You have this heart card. It says love, deep affection, and caring. True love coming in for you. So I feel like there's like a true deep connection coming in. You have this fair man card. It says dealings or relationships with a man with blonde, gray, or white hair. Could be any gender that you are dealing with. I always clarify these people cards, and you have this gong. It says an exciting event. If you are invited to an event, that could be where you find love, like an event, a social gathering. Like I said with that 3 of Cups, it seems to me like it's something that you're doing, so I would definitely go. You have this caterpillar. It says things will not always be this way. A change is coming. So I do feel that there are important changes. It's kind of weird because, I think that if I just put myself in your shoes, like in, back in October, let's say, of this year, it's almost like of last year, I mean, it's almost like you were looking forward into this year, and I think you thought things were going to go a different way. It's a very strange story. It's like maybe you thought like, okay, 2023 is going to feel really good. It's going to be, where things change and blah, 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 and it hasn't been that way. But something is changing here. You have 2 caterpillar cards. I just realized. Caterpillar, this hangman is a caterpillar. So I feel like the change you've been waiting for is happening. It's like things are actually better now. You have this kangaroo. It says unsettled times, need to plan ahead. Yes, we talked about this. Again, you want to be the person with your head screwed on straight no matter what is happening. Because again, if things get that bad, where there's a zombie apocalypse, you're not going to have to worry about money, right? Just be stable. Just be focused and, be able to take care of yourself and be self-sufficient, right? And then you'll be fine. But this looks pretty good, Capricorn. I'm not saying that's going to happen, obviously. Hopefully not, although who the hell knows what Zuckerberg's cooking up, like I always say. But thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.